Starting off our new project, these are going to be the before pictures of the bedroom. You get a few different pictures of different angles along with the closet. But the big thing is, what's the layout going to be like? Here's kind of a sketch of what I'm thinking of the room, especially for lights, and then starting to rip down the closet, and we have to plan out with some tape where we want the lights to actually be. Here we are preparing my daughter's room. When we come up here, she's got a regular wall switch with a regular single light. We're gonna make it a fan, and we're gonna do canisters. I checked where all the trusses are to quickly give me an eyeball on that. I checked the spacing. I wanna do 3 and 3 can lights. So I made it all out and figured out the spacing I need, and I put screws into the ceiling, and now I gotta go kick out the insulation and find them up top. Okay, we're in the attic, sitting on the trusses, because if you don't, you will fall right through your drywall into your house. And right down there, we have a little screw right there. And that is the first one that I found. I need to go through the rest of this attic and find the other screws and the itchy pillows of ouch that are up here. Okay, well, there's this middle ceiling fan right there. Here's my first screw. Right there is my second screw. Way over there is my third screw. That, right where those 2 wires are going in, is where the wire comes into the room and then goes up to the ceiling light. And then this exposed wall is the attic, or the closet wall, where I can put an outlet for a closet light. And these are the new wafer lights I ordered from Home Depot that they have. This is the whole thickness, this half. And none of it sticks up into the attic. It's completely flat. It's got this little gasket seal, and then the wiring box over there. And this guy is used because it's got the thickness here for the halo light, like what Lori has, except for instead of using your phone, it'll be off the switch. You press it once and it turns the light on, but if you press the switch twice, it'll turn the halo on without the light, so it'll be like indirect lighting or like a nightlight. They call it nightlight mode for this brand. First canister hole is cut. I used my canister hole saw drywall tool, and I widened it with the razor knife. So that guy is cut. First canister's mechanically in. I gotta wire it in yet. But the reason it's protruding is hanging down like a 1/4 inch is because there's a halo ring for a nightlight mode instead of sitting flush. But it sits, pretty flush. It's not like it hangs down a lot. I like it. Now it's time to cut more holes. I'm pulling down all the tape that I used to kind of measure out where the trusses are and to check the fan blade. I use my hole cutting tool to cut through the drywall, and then I can insert the actual LED light. I'm just cutting a small hole through the vapor barrier, the plastic up there, to just get the wire through. I'm not actually cutting the whole vapor barrier out. But then it's as easy as just snapping in the new light with the gasket, and then you just gotta wire it all up. As I won't be using the boob light in the middle, that's going to be converted to a fan with no light on it, I need to tear the light down. So you just start with the disassembly, pulling out the bulbs, just kind of undoing every little nut, bolt, and screw you can find to slowly get back to the wiring that is hidden behind the plate. Now you got to be careful here if the power's live at this point. All right, well, I got the 6 canisters, if you can kind of see them, installed. I say canister loosely. They're wafer canisters, but they have a halo ring to them, which I've never tried before, so this is something new to test out. So I mechanically have the 6 lights physically installed. Up next, if you come with me, is I need to connect them to the wall switch. So I'm gonna have to run power from here up to the light, but also where the light was, I can't see well, sorry. Where the light was, I have to install the ceiling fan. So I gotta end up adding a new power junction box up there. I gotta run some new power to the switch. I'm actually gonna add power into the closet to put lights into the closet. Bunch of rewiring, let's go. One of the first things we need to do is we need to check the power. I can't go running around touching all the different power devices if it's energized. So take my little pen, there is power. I need to go trip a breaker. Let's go. Alrighty, I ran in the basement and I turned off the breaker. Let's turn on our handy dandy electric pen and let's test our switch. Switch is dead, energized, still dead. So if we go up to where the old lights were installed and check that guy out, makes no noise. We're ready to play with some wires. Let's go play. To install the lights in the attic, to wire everything up, I have these little wiring Romex boxes that I'm going to nail to a truss, and then I need to run the Romex through it. Well, instead of putting all these Romex locks on the electrical boxes in the attic where it's hot and cramped and uncomfortable, it's smart to kind of do it on the ground floor and then bring it assembled in the attic. Now that I'm getting ready to work into the attic, I am screwing down some 2x4s just to give myself some safe places to work. It's kind of dangerous to just stand on trusses and work, as you could easily fall through. With our top-down view, I am getting the screws ready. I'm going to screw that electrical box right to the side of the truss. And then I'm going to use my Wago lever nuts to wire up the Romex straight to the electrical box. And then all I got to do is make the single connection to the LED light, and this light is set up and working. Now at this point, it's just rinse and repeat. You saw that I have the 6 lights mechanically installed down below. So now I just got to move along the trusses here and find each of my 6 lights and just connect each of the electrical boxes to the trusses, wire it up to the light itself, and I have to span my Romex from box to box to box so I can daisy chain them in one solid connection. I start with the LED light closest to the switch, and then I just daisy chain them running away from there. The next thing I need to do is go back down below. With all wires connected up top, I actually need to run a Romex down the wall to connect it to the switch. Now, there was a Romex running up from the switch to the light, but that I'm going to use to control the fan because it's already running to the length I need. So I need to run a new Romex wire down, but to run one down into that box is virtually impossible. So I am going to cut that box out to make it significantly easier to run a new Romex into the box. And then from there, I'll have to install a new box. I'm destroying this box to get it out. But you use a multi-tool, you cut the nails out that are going into the stud on the side, and then you just carefully start cutting your way around, and sometimes you have to kind of cut the box into little pieces to easily pull it out of the wall. And at that point, you can easily put in a reno box into the wall, and you can run your Romex. I don't want to say it's easy because it's always hard, but it's easier. I had to rip this box out of the wall because of the fact that I need to run new power wires down because I'm adding a switch, one for the lights and one for the fan. Since this room never had a fan before, it didn't need the double wire. And there's ways around what I did, but this will be the easiest way for me because fishing a wire through the wall through an electrical box that already has 2 wires into it is like virtually impossible. And I don't want to, I even took fish tape and tried to run it. It's just not worth it. So I cut the box of the wall, which will make it real easy. And in fact, I added a new power box into the attic so I can split off because I'm gonna end up running power to the closet for light. So I got that out right now. Right now I'm gonna go up into the attic and continue wiring. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below and we'll love to answer them. Thank you.